How you doing, Real Motivation? Terrance Mckinney back with a new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about recognizing opportunity. A lot of us don't advance in life because we can't see the opportunity, and opportunity is right there in front of our face. So today I'm going to give you 7 different ways that you can recognize opportunity. But before we dig into these 7 different ways, I want everybody to hit that bell if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and make sure you hit that like button. It's very important for the YouTube algorithm, and this is how my video get promoted to more people. And we want everybody to hear this information that I'm spreading today. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Let's get into it. Number 1, listen to the people you serving, your clients, your customers, or anybody you servicing. I mean, it's just important for us. I don't care what type of business we in, if we in business, we're gonna have a customer on some type of way. If we servicing or we selling a product or we doing something for people, then we gotta get those people's feedback. We gotta ask questions. We gotta ask people, how am I doing? What can I improve on? What would you like me to add on? I mean, you gotta hear the feedback from the people you taking care of. Why? Because if you don't hear that feedback, how can you ever get better? How can you fix anything that you're doing wrong if you don't know how the customer is feeling or the person that you're servicing, how they feeling? I worked in the restaurant business all my life. You know how we found out how we was doing and what areas we need to improve on? We did surveys. I don't care what restaurant business I was in, from fine dining to casual dining to fast food. Every single restaurant I was in, we always had some type of survey that we gave to people. And in them surveys, we were asked about the food. We'd asked about the cleanliness of the restaurant. We'd asked about the service. We would ask about the speed. And then once we got all them surveys, and every month it was the same scenario. Every month we would go over a recap and we would listen to what 70 different customers told us. And we would key in on the main things. Because guess what? Out of 70 people, if you got a glaring problem here or you got a glaring problem there, it's going to show. Because once you get all those different surveys of different people's being there at different times, and you're going to get the feedback and opinions from a lot of different people. But the things that's hurting your business, them going to stand out regardless. If you slow, you're going to be slow. And guess what? I don't care if they came Monday or if this person came Thursday, they're going to be like, you were slow. If the food was sloppy, they're going to tell you. They don't care if they came at 1 o'clock in the morning or at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. The food was sloppy. And that's where you seek your opportunity. And that's where you've been like, okay, all right, we got a problem here on second shift. Second shift every Thursday is the shift that we getting all the sloppy food. Who worked those days? Who's the main cover? Who's the manager? Who was there? Who was the constant is? And that's when you look for your opportunity. And that's where you go to fix your problems, and that's when you go to improve something. Even and it necessarily ain't got to be something bad, but you can highlight. The survey sometimes highlight the stuff you're doing good. Like, damn, they love when we do that happy hour on Fridays, man. 50 out of my 70 customers was mentioning that we should do that happy hour on Fridays all throughout the week. But it's plenty of opportunity. The main thing is that you getting feedback from the people you are servicing. So make sure that you're reaching out to your customers, your clients, anybody that you servicing, because there's always opportunity there. Number 2, look at the competition. All right, when we think of competition, we think as people trying to compete, we think as rivals, but it necessarily don't got to be like that. I mean, you can be in competition with somebody and still be learning from them, because just because you're in competition with them, that don't mean that they doing something bad or they doing something wrong. You think Nike ain't paying attention to Adidas? You think Adidas ain't paying attention to Reebok? You think Reebok ain't paying attention to Nike? No, they all paying attention to each other. I mean, they watching what each other do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it, Nike is at the top. They leading by laps and laps and laps, and all these other shoe companies is watching them. But guess what? They doing the same thing. You see, Nike was the first one to come out, you know, with signature shoes from Michael Jordan. And then after they seen Jordan take off, everybody started getting signature shoes. But guess what? Guess what all other shoes companies started doing? They start getting basketball players, and they start getting star athletes, and they start dropping they signatures and screws. If you go in the mall today, it's probably everybody got their own signature shoe. You know, you got Adidas, they got James Harden, they got Damian Lillard, Under Armour got Steph Curry. Reebok had, I don't know who they got right now, but they done had Allen Iverson. They done had Jay-Z. They done, everybody got their star who they want to wear their shoes. But that all started with Nike. But guess what? People watched the competition and they learned something like, okay, they very successful at doing that. Maybe we can go through we can do that in our own way and still be successful in our own way. So you got to pay attention to the competition. Just because, I mean, if they is doing something bad, guess what? You can see not only what's working for them, you can also see what's not working for them. And you can learn a lot what's not working for them. So you be like, okay, now I'm not going to do that because they did that 2 years ago. And I remember when they did that, they failed miserably. Or you can look at it like, but the reason why they failed miserably because it's the way they did it. So you can learn a lot. So you got to watch the competition and see what they doing. And just make sure, you know, you on top of your game, either negatively and positively, because you can learn a lot and there's opportunity there. Number 3, look at the trends. You know, it's a lot there. You can learn if the trend is going up or if the trend is going down. You know, take for instance, skinny jeans. You know, when skinny jeans came out, they wiped out the pants market. I mean, people used to wear big baggy jeans and everything else. But when skinny jeans came out, everybody switched over to skinny jeans. And if you wasn't watching that trend, if you in the pants factory somewhere and you the head Levi's or you the head of True Religion or something like that, and you see, take for instance, let's say Rock Revival, they coming out and they making all the skinny jeans, and the skinny jeans is the only thing selling. If you didn't come out with skinny jeans, when skinny jeans came out, you probably ain't selling pants right now, because guess what? You can barely even find big pants now, or you can't find straight leg pants or boot cut pants. When you go in the store, all you see is skinny jeans, because that's the trend, and the trends take over. And if you don't, sometimes if you don't get on the board with the trends, you get left behind. That's just like when when the internet came out, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, the computer's gonna be the death of the world." When the Y2K happened and everything else, but if you didn't get on the internet, you probably got left behind. Number 4, you see a weakness or a flaw in someone above you. Now, a lot of us, we work for bad bosses. I'm just gonna put it out there. But let me tell you, the wrong way to go about it is trying to throw that person under the bus and trying to gripe about that person and trying to go over their heads. You will never get anywhere in the business world like that. You know, you got to look at that as an opportunity for yourself. Because guess what? If you got a bad boss who ain't doing their job, guess what? The people above them is going to see everything you see. But you got to look at it as an opportunity. You got to look at it as an opportunity for yourself. I got my first promotion and my first job as a general manager because I was somewhere as a kitchen manager. And I seen bad boss after bad boss get higher and higher and higher. And at first, I couldn't understand like what was going on. Like, how did these people keep getting the jobs? What separate them? Like, how can I not be even getting looked at? And so the last time I had a bad boss, I looked at myself and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to better myself. So I paid attention to everything the boss was doing, and he was a horrible boss, and I knew it was just a matter of time before the owner found out. I paid attention to the stuff he was doing wrong, and I put in my mind that, okay, I'm not going to do those things. And the stuff that he was supposed to be doing that he wasn't doing, I started learning, and I started figuring it out, and I started stepping up, and I started doing those things. And so when the owner seen all the stuff that he wasn't doing, and when he came to let him go, the minute he let him go, I stepped to the owner and said, before you interview anybody for that position, I want to be interviewed because this is why. I seen all the stuff that he was doing wrong, and I could fix that. And I seen all the stuff that he was doing right, and here's how I can improve on those ways. And I was ready for it. I put myself in position. I seen the opportunity. I seen that this person wasn't fit for the job, and I made myself fit for the job. So when the job came available, I got it the right way and not by just throwing somebody under the bus or stabbing somebody in the back that I was working with. I let them flaws, I let that person do they self in. I let them be their own worst enemy, because if you see it, guess what? The owner is definitely going to see it, or somebody else is higher in a higher position is definitely going to see it. So you want to go about things the right way and make sure that you're taking the opportunity the right way. Number 5, somebody suggesting you do something, or they seeing something in you that you can't see yourself. And that happens a lot. A lot of times people might see qualities in ourselves that we may be diminishing. And some people sometimes may be suggesting us to do stuff because they see stuff in us that we don't see in ourselves. I know plenty of people who done started off like in the music business because somebody else told them they had a wonderful, great voice. They'd be singing somewhere, so somebody hear them and be like, man, like you could be on a commercial. Or like, man, you need to go to karaoke. Or they got an open mic night. Or once you come to my studio, won't you come lay this demo down? You sound amazing. Or how do you think models get started? People, 9 times out of 10, people tell them like, oh, you got the perfect figure. You should be a model. Oh, you tall, you skinny, the way you walk is so graceful. You should be a model. I mean, or your friend might just be suggesting you for, it could be a job posted. And one of your friends reading it like, man, look, man, they hiring for a director down there, man. That's a step up from where you at, man. I read the qualifications, man. That's you. I read everything it takes to be the job, and you on point with all the quality. That job is meant for you, and we might not see it for ourselves. But what I'm saying is, when people suggest us something, it's not gonna hurt you not one bit to consider it and to look into it. Because guess what? It could be opportunity for you. Because they could be seeing something that we actually ain't seeing for ourselves. So we can actually get that job and take off and we straight to the moon. Or we can actually get in the studio and drop that demo. And next thing you know, we singing on BET or MTV in a year. So when somebody consider you for something or suggest you for something, I'm not necessarily saying that you should do it, but it's an opportunity there. You should at least consider it, especially if it's coming from somebody that you know and you respect. Then consider it. Look into it and see where you can go with it. Number 6, solve a problem that ain't been solved. It's tons and tons of opportunity to solve problems that ain't been solved. And when you go through the world, it's 1,000 things that it's 1,000 problems that ain't been solved. I mean, take for instance, look at all the diseases that we still ain't got cures for. Take for instance cancer. I mean, it's probably so many universities and so many schools across the nations that got bio departments, they got chemistry departments, where they working on trying to how to solve some of these diseases that ain't been solved yet. And when the person who figure out a way how to minimize cancer or to reverse cancer, or somebody figure that out, guess what? They're gonna be a billionaire for the rest of their life. I mean, whatever scientists or a group of scientists figure that out, they're gonna be rich for beyond their life. And not only that, they're gonna be providing a service for the whole not the United States, but the whole world, because that's a problem that needs to be solved. And that's just a big problem. But you can think of any problem out there that ain't been solved. It can be a small problem. You can start at your job. If you got a problem, at nighttime where people not doing what they supposed to do, or when they come in for their shift, they not loading the trucks right. That's opportunity. If this been a problem at the job for maybe 6 months to a year, and no matter who in there is regardless, it's still been a problem, you got a way to solve that problem, it's opportunity. Guess what? The owner, the boss, the supervisor, or whoever it be like, man, you fixed that, man, come here, man, I got something else for you to fix. Or you fixed that, wow, congratulations, man, we've been trying to fix that forever, how did you do it? Like, oh, I want to thank you, I want to give this to you, I want to do this for you. So it's opportunity in solving problems that ain't been solved. It can be big problems, it can be small problems, but if you find a solution to a problem that ain't been solved, you off to the moon. Number 7, a new approach to old things. Now, we do thousands and thousands and thousands of things every single day, but that don't mean it's not a new and better way to do it. Take for instance, Uber, Lyft. I mean, we drove around in cabs and taxis probably since the car first came out. Probably about like, what, 80, 90 years in taxis and cabs, waving taxis and cabs down. Guess what? Uber and Lyft already almost eradicated that whole business within maybe a 3 or 4 year time frame, because you barely even see taxis and cabs anywhere on the roads anymore. Only where you're going to see taxis and cabs now is when you go downtown in your cities and they lined up on a stand now because people don't use them no more, because Uber and Lyft is a better way. It's a better service. You know how much you paying before you get in the cab. You don't got to worry about the meter running at every stoplight. You don't got to worry about if traffic is packed up or you stuck somewhere that is going to be more of a fare. You don't got to pay that surcharge, that minimum fare fee, and you're not paying taxes. And you don't even really have to worry about, knowing what time you're going to get there, because Uber and Lyft tell you exactly everything. And guess what? It's already paid for. It's coming off your car. And you know who your driver is. You know everything. So it done eradicated the taxi and cab business. And not only did it eradicate the taxi and cab business for the rider, it also did that same thing for the driver. Because guess what? The driver now can make his own hours. He can just wake up and figure out, all right, I want to Uber or I want to Lyft. And you don't got to pay fees. It used to be, what, $250, $300. You got to pay this taxi stand or this cab stand a month to use their car. But now you're doing it in your own car. And you don't got to pay them nothing. And so you can do it when you want to do it. But it's just basically a new approach to do a whole thing. And that new approach is so better that it went to the moon and it almost eradicated it. So if you can find a new approach to do something old and it's successful and it's better, guess what? You got all the opportunity in the world to grow. So let's recap these 7 ways that we can recognize opportunity. Number 1, listen to the people you are servicing, your customers, your clients, your employees, or anybody you provide a service to. Number 2, look at the competition. Number 3, look at the trends. Number 4, you see a weakness or a flaw in someone else above you. Number 5, somebody suggesting you do something. They see something in you that you don't see in yourself. Number 6, solve a problem that hasn't been solved. And number 7, a new approach to do old things better. Have a great day, Real Motivation.